All right. So this morning for our training, we're gonna go over a few things that were discussed in our meeting. First and foremost are some of the techs were taking vans home. Let's just make sure that you understand that we can't do that. It's against the company policies unless you get special permission, and it has to really come from one of the higher ups. Not even me can tell you it's okay on that side. So always just kind of plan to prep to bring the van back here, and then from here you can head back to your house. Second thing is that when we're uploading our completion photos, try not to post them in the chat like an hour before your actual clock out time is. Wait for like 15 minutes before your clock out time actually is. And the reason for that is just to kind of help, on the dispatch side, so the girls don't get, off track or anything like that, because they have a process that they go through when they do the clock outs, that, they go into the system, they check the work order, make sure the photos, the sign off, everything's moved over. Then they go onto the portal and make sure that you clocked out and everything on that side the correct way. So it throws them off when you have them do part of their steps and then they have to go back in and get back on track to where they were at. The next one is really a big one, and it's when you come across a job that is going to be like a freeze break, where like the pipes have burst. Make sure that the first photo that you take is of the main shutoff to the system, whether it's like, not so much the meter unless that is their main shutoff. But ideally what we're looking for is like like the shutoff like that goes to the garden centers and stuff like that. We just want to be able to make sure we have that photo to show like, hey, when we got here, this was already left on or it is shut off type deal, so that hopefully we can, if the company or clients tries to come back on us and say, oh, well, last time you were here, you left it on type deal, we can say, hey, this wasn't us, essentially. It's the best way for us to cover ourselves on that side. And then also in your description on those, you need to clearly state in the very first sentence that, hey, this is a freeze break, on this system, and make sure you number how many breaks that you see on the system on that side. And then finally, the last thing is the winter process for driving the vans. If it gets really bad, we're always asking that in the mornings you send a photo of the road conditions and everything on that side. Because if you're having a spot where you got snow on the ground, black ice, we would prefer you to just stay in the hotel that day. We'll pay you for the day type deal than to risk putting you out there and you getting into a wreck and everything on that side. Yeah. Any questions about anything like that or just anything in general?
When I was with another tech, we had a garden center that they reported there was one break. So we walked around the whole garden center, found 5 breaks. And then whenever we repaired those 5 breaks, I guess there was pressure or just left over. So whenever we turned on the water, all our 5 breaks were good, but like 3 more breaks showed up. Let's say if we say there's 5 breaks, how do we go back and say, oh, 3 more breaks showed up?
That's a good question. So in situations like that, you just kind of have to, the best way is to notate and say like, hey, when we were able to fix these 5 breaks, it was finally able to push the water through the system far enough to reach these other breaks. Because essentially what was probably happening is within those first 5 breaks, you were losing all your water, and it wasn't, it's not able to get over to those other breaks. So that's one where you just have to put in the additional increase and everything on that side, and state very clearly, hey, once these first 5 were made, then it was able to push water through the system, and we were able to determine and find, that there were a few other breaks on the line now that the water can travel that far. And that's something we see all the time, so it's very understandable. But we do also try to say, hey, on the second one, let's really make sure that we're not missing anything else on that side, because you only get a few opportunities to go back to a client and continue to ask for more money on that side. Any other questions? No? All right, well, that concludes.